Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Laubach. I want to take a few moments and talk about a very important event from period 2 of the APUSH curriculum, the Stono Rebellion. Before we begin, an important trend in slavery in North America beginning around the 1730s and moving forward was that more and more enslaved people were working on large plantations, like in South Carolina, where conditions were very harsh and cruel, and fewer were working on smaller farms, like in earlier generations. A big reason for this shift in slavery in North America was the ramping up of the transatlantic trade and the demand for labor. Obviously, the human toll that this took on enslaved people was horrendous and unthinkable. So, what we're going to go over: what was the Stono Rebellion? What were the results of the Stono Rebellion? And what was the long-term impact of the Stono Rebellion? So first, what was the Stono Rebellion? The Stono Rebellion was a slave revolt in September of 1739 in the colony of South Carolina near the Stono River, which is about 20 miles from Charleston. It was the largest slave rebellion in the colonies and had about 75 participants, with 25 colonists being killed, 44 enslaved people being killed. Now, the ultimate goal of this rebellion by the slaves was to escape to St. Augustine, Florida, which was Spanish Florida. The Spanish governor in Florida had promised freedom to fugitive slaves, and the slaves in the Stono Rebellion saw this as inspiration. The notable leader of the Stono Rebellion was a person named Jemmy. Jemmy was most likely born in the Kingdom of Congo in Africa, which is now part of Angola, and brought as a slave to the British colony of South Carolina around 1730. When the rebellion began, slaves marched and killed slave overseers, and reluctant slaves were forced to join the rebellion. The band of rebels reached the Edisto River, where the South Carolina militia descended upon them, killing most of the rebels. Those who were not killed were captured and executed. Some of the surviving rebel slaves were sold off to the West Indies. Now, what were the results of the Stono Rebellion? In response to this rebellion, the South Carolina legislature passed new black codes. The Negro Act of 1740 severely restricted the lives of South Carolina's enslaved people. No longer could they assemble on their own, nor could they grow their own food, learn to read, or work for money. The Negro Act of 1740 read, and I quote, "The Comprehensive Negro Act of 1740 passed in South Carolina made it illegal for slaves to move abroad, assemble in groups, raise food, earn money, and learn to write English." End quote. Additionally, owners were also permitted to kill rebellious slaves. Now, while some of these provisions had existed in law before, they were not consistently enforced. These harsh laws would form the basis of race relations in South Carolina until after the American Civil War. Now, what were the long-term impacts of the rebellion? The largest and most significant slave rebellion in the North American colonies, the Stono Rebellion, revealed tension that continued in slave states throughout the next century. The Stono Rebellion also served as notice to other slaves that an uprising simply would not work. And many slaveholding communities and states made stricter and stricter regulations, making the lives of slaves even more dreadful. Now, even though the Stono Rebellion was not that large of a rebellion and was not successful, its impact could be felt for many, many years to come. So I hope this quick video helps you better understand the importance and the impact of the Stono Rebellion, and thanks for watching.